Dusty Shell, director with Usborne Books More, here to share with you some of my favorite books that are awesome for preschoolers. You could probably even put together an entire preschool curriculum with just our books if you really wanted to. So let's start with this one. This is I Can Draw Animals, and it's just a good art time book for beginning artists. We also have I Can Draw People, and this uses very basic shapes with detailed, colorful instructions to show you step by step how to draw very simple animals. And this is good for the children who don't yet have fine motor skills strong enough to do very complex shapes with their drawing, and it's just super fun. Then we have some Lift the Flap books. This one is from our first questions and answers series, What Makes It Rain? And as with all our Lift the Flap books, there are multiple flaps on every page, and this one walks through kind of the weather cycle and how we get rain. And it goes through rainbows and storms and how the sun works in it all. And every flap has a question on it. This one says, why is thunder so loud? And then when you lift the flap, you'll get the answer. See? Because lightning is so hot. The air around it heats up amazingly quickly and makes a sound like an explosion. Boom! So they get their answers and they learn all of this information with this hands-on activity to go along with it. See? Moving along still with Lift the Flap books, but a bit bigger size, we have this series. This is opposites, and I also have numbers here. We also have shapes and colors. And I like these because they're basic concepts, but in a fun way. Every picture has flaps that show a word with the picture, good, and then when you open the flap, you'll see what the opposite is. Bad, that puppy stole a cookie. I would probably steal a cookie too. See, above or below, and it just teaches every concept with this. You can ask them, is the fish and the anchor above or below the water? See? And it has down here a question. Lift the flaps to find these things above or below the waves. So then you can ask them as they search. Here's more opposites. The bear is sick. Now they're well. As I said before, here's numbers. We also have shapes and colors. We have some amazing paperback phonics readers. There's dozens of these titles. This is Raccoon on the Moon, and this is Llama in Pajamas. And these are really fun stories. They're usually really silly, and they use very basic vocabulary words, using similar sounds in every story to tell the story, to get young readers used to hearing the words and the sounds, or if they're starting to read themselves, to help build their confidence as they can read a book that includes the sounds that they know. These are individual, but you can also buy some in combined volumes. This is Cow Takes a Bow and Other Tales. This includes 6 of our phonics readers in a hard back version. That's Underpants for Ants. And then here's one that has 12 and a read-along CD, Ted and Friends. And often some of these stories include flaps. And the fun thing about a lot of these stories is they were illustrated by Stephen Cartwright, and what that means is that every page has a little duck hiding on it for you to find, so that's an extra incentive for your young readers. If you have not heard of our Wipe Clean books, let me share them with you. They are super cool. Here's First Math, Alphabet, and Ready for Writing, great options for the preschooler. And with these, they all come with a dry erase marker, and inside, these are already done, but as you can see, you can fill in the answers, and then you can use a dry erase eraser or just a damp cloth to clean them off, and you can use them over and over again, or you can pass them through multiple children. Our Usborne Farmyard Tales book, Telling the Time. These characters are in several of our popular books, including the complete book of Farmyard Tales, which is something you should definitely look into. And this just uses these characters in a fun story and helps them learn to recognize hours and minutes and move the little hands of the clock here to tell the time as the characters work through their farm chores through the day. If you're looking for some simple, fun science experiments for young ones, here's 50 science things to make and do, which gives you lots of alternatives, all of which are pretty easy. Some may need a little adult help, like a butterfly feeder, sinking diver, making butter, all fun things for the young child. And finally, we have our Beginners and Young Beginners books. Young Beginners is a newer series, so we just have a few titles in this right now, but we have tons of these. They're single subject books that give you lots of photographs and information about the topic at hand, so you can actually pinpoint what book you would like to go along with what you're studying. If you use unit studies or something like that, this is Caterpillars and Butterflies. We have dogs, cats, weather, the solar system, and this one, the Young Beginners, is very similar in setup, except for the text is specifically geared and simplified for younger children. I hope that gave you a good peek at something that you could use with your preschooler, and let me know if you have any questions about other options.